Return of the Mount Hua Sect, Chapter 145. You and me, let's work together. That man is Oduksu, right? The person, called the spirit of Jiangxi, has come all the way here. It seems like he is prepared for something. That one, isn't that the Sword Foundation sect symbol? Maybe we shouldn't miss something like this. I can even see the Green Pine sect and the Waning Moon Pavilion of Luoyang. It seems like all the famous subsects have come here.
Wait, that person over there, in red. Doesn't he look like that guy?
If that person has come all the way here, it must mean that something worse is about to happen. The people gathered in Nanyang bit their tongues, seeing people gather one after another.
Is the sword tomb really here? Those who have heard about it will come running. But this time too, there is a high chance that it will turn out to be just a rumor. I think I have heard that the sword tomb had appeared more than 5 times. And didn't they all turn out to be rumors?
It has to be different this time. Isn't it out in the open this time? When has the Beggars Union ever openly spread false things?
That is true. Isn't that why the most famous names from around here dropped everything they were doing and ran over? If the sword tomb could be obtained, then it's possible to be on top of the world in the current era. Throw away those vain delusions. What kind of talent must people have to utilize that divine weapon?
I don't know, but you never know what good fortune can fall upon a person. You should know, right? Good luck. The person who was speaking negatively couldn't hide the light shining in his eyes. This is the influence the divine weapons had on people. Many people in a strong nation are simply swept away by history. Among them, only a handful can make history with their own skills. Everyone in Gangho wanted to be the best in the world, but only one could rise to the top. In other words, it could be said that the ordinary weak people gathered here would end up being the background image of the few warriors who will make a name for themselves. But if they manage to get their hands on the divine weapons, then they too could join the ranks of the few warriors. It was a temptation that few strong men could deny. A few of the people who came here knew that they didn't have the skills to overtake the others who were present there and get their hands on it, but they couldn't give up hope. It feels like there is going to be a war. Isn't it always like that? The ones who would survive that war will win the sword tomb. 2 men who were listening to the people talking sneaked out of the place. This is really bad, right, Sayong? At Jogul's words, Yunong had a bewildered expression.
This is crazy.
What? Take a chance. This was too much for them to handle. What will this turn into? People were flocking to Nanyang from Luoyang and Wuhan. After a few more days, Nanyang would be completely packed with people, and there would be no time for them to step in. And weren't there more and more people coming in even now? I don't know what he was thinking. In a sense, this was good. To stir up a situation where the intention of making Wudang unable to obtain the sword tomb was good. Could even a criminal mastermind be able to come up with such things? Yunong thought that maybe he had underestimated Cheongmyeong. If not, Cheongmyeong had a different side to him when dealing with the sect and when dealing with people of other sects. Let's head back for now. Yes, Sayong. Yunong and Jogul hurried to the sect. Yunong, who managed to reach Hwayong, quickly opened the gate and went in. As soon as Baekchun saw them coming, he ran to them and asked, "How was it?" "There's a riot out there. I have never seen such a large gathering of martial artists before this. Now, it seems like more martial artists than the ones in Nanyang have come." "I see." Baekchun slightly tilted his face. "Will this really be fine?" At Jogul's question, Baekchun's face contorted. "How can I know?" The person who knew everything was Cheongmyeong, and no matter how much they tried to figure out what he was thinking, they couldn't know. "But Who is that? Yunong narrowed his eyes and looked at the two people sitting in the main hall of the front building. Lying on the floor with a bottle in his hand was Chongmyung, and the person across, a beggar. Shh! Baekchun put his fingers on his lips. Don't be rude. He is from the Beggars Union. Ah! The Beggars Union was a sect of beggars, but they still didn't like being called beggars. Usually, they preferred something like informer or ragtag. And he is the branch leader of the Beggars Union from Loyang. But why is he here? Well, Chongmyung, he must have done something. Everyone's face went pale. Let's live like humans. Humans! No matter what we do, let's do it with some basic sense. Wow, this is going to be a mess, really. No matter what they thought, Chongmyung was leisurely drinking. You done? What? I'm asking about the thing which happened as you wanted it to. You're talking weird. What did I even do? Hong Dae-kwang's face contorted. This ghost-like young man. It was Hong Dae-kwang who created the situation. Hearing that the Wudang people were going to be arriving, he decided to spread the information all around. He couldn't help it. If the Wudang arrived in Nanyang and pulled out the sword tomb and went back, it would be Hong Dae-kwang who would be beaten to death by the elders of his sect. And unlike Chongmyung, he couldn't sell the map for money. If they sold something during the time Wudang excavated it, then the name and fame of the Beggars Union would drop rapidly, and the elders would skin him alive. So what now? What? We just watch. Like this. I'm fine with it. I made a lot of money. Chongmyung touched his chest and stomach. The stomach was now round. Hong Dae-kwang, who knew the reason for the round stomach, felt frustrated. I cannot sell it again. Right. Besides that, he also managed to learn the skills of Mount Hua's divine dragon. Hong Dae-kwang suppressed his feelings. He was stupid. No, he was an incredibly smart person. Although he received an unexpected hit from Chongmyung, it wasn't because he was stupid, but rather it was because Chongmyung was wicked. It will be a few more days to get support from the sect, and the Wudang sect would arrive soon. It was impossible for him to deal with Wudang alone. The power of the Beggars Union wasn't inferior to the Wudang sect. But unlike Wudang, where all the people in the sect would be mobilized quickly, the Beggars Union had its people scattered. It would take at least a month for all of them to gather, and right now, there was no time to ask for help from the sect. In other words, it meant that the work here needed to be solved by him with the resources he could gather alone. There was no way the two Beggars Union branches in Loyang and Wuhan could fight the Wudang sect. Then, things happened his way. He felt like the sky was falling and the land was crushing him. No, why did it have to be him? It felt like no drink could cool his mind. So Hong Dae-kwang had no choice but to come to Chongmyung with eyes full of tears. It was mainly because the disciples of Mount Hua who defeated the Wudang disciples looked very reliable to him. And the other reason, I am not crazy, but this guy must have something he believes in to do this. Otherwise, he wouldn't have such a plan. Even if everyone would call Chongmyung crazy and mad, no, not even Hong Dae-kwang called him the same thing. He was still sure that Chongmyung's madness had a reason. Isn't it time to move? Would you like a drink? All the people here are like a pack of dogs. Yeah, everyone must be full of greed. Hong Dae-kwang exploded. Ya brat! Shouldn't you be getting your hands on that thing? If you stay still like this, the good things will go into other people's hands. You are awfully interested in other people's businesses. Chongmyung whistled as he lay down. Hong Dae-gwang grabbed his robe and tried to relax. My stomach hurts. From where did this monster even come from? It was the time when Hong Dae-gwang was thinking of whether he should do something more to get sympathies of the disciples of Mount Hua. Swish! What the? Hong Dae-gwang was startled at the sudden appearance of a woman next to him and turned around. What is this? Before he could figure out who the person was, the woman said, The Wudang sect has arrived. Chongmyung jumped and got up right away. They're here! Chongmyung left the bottle, which spilled on the floor, and not caring for it, began to walk down the hallway. Let's go! Okay, coming. The very disciples of Mount Hua, who were complaining and grumbling till then. The moment Chongmyung got up, their eyes changed, and everyone ran out. Huh? Only Hong Dae-gwang couldn't keep up with the sudden change he had witnessed in front of his eyes. The disciples of Mount Hua jumped over the wall, which wasn't repaired yet, and disappeared. Hong Dae-gwang, who realized it later, yelled, Where? You bastards! Hurry! Hurry and catch them! I didn't see where they went. Damn it! Follow them! In the end, Hong Dae-gwang took the lead and began to lead his subordinates. No. How the hell did they move like that? People who until a while ago was thought to be dignified disciples of Mount Hua ran out like wild hogs while Chongmyung spoke. And the biggest change was Chongmyung. Always stick to Mount Hua. Always! His senses were telling him that. If there was anyone in Nanyang who could turn the Wudang sect away from here, it had to be Mount Hua. Hong Dae-gwang looked at the disciples of Mount Hua in the distance and exhaled. And in the place they walked out from, there were two people standing with blank faces. Father. What? Will this be all right? I don't know. Wei Lip-san just looked around at the empty yard and spoke with a trembling expression. They must have something ready. Really? I wish to believe that. To be honest, all this felt rather unreliable to Wei Lip-san.